This is the What I Need podcast, a shared journey exploring topics of society, spirituality, and even ways of being. Here, we speak freely and fully, from the heart and the conscious mind, in hopes to find what we need. Thank you, for your time is valuable and you could have been anywhere else in the universe. All of you are welcomed and appreciated here.
So, welcome to the What I Need podcast. This is your host, King Karlton. I am so glad right now to announce that season 1 of What I Need podcast is complete. And it's just amazing as we go into this next season, some of the places that we've been together on this show. I think if you've gone through and listened to some of these episodes and kind of just heard some of the places I've tried to take it and places that I've been, there is a lot of inner discovery that is shared, and I try to make it so candid and kind of personal. So the season 1, I feel like it ended up having a lot of episodes that were solo, and I was okay with that at the time. I'm still gonna do that because I think it's just great for me in general to have that inner discussion in an outward way, and I feel like sometimes, some of those episodes maybe it's like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I don't know, maybe some of those episodes were out there, and but I think that's also, in a way, it's cool because to share it as a podcast, it's just me sharing whatever I've pondered and found some sort of answer to. And sometimes it's the answer, sometimes it's an answer. And I think that's fine. I think that's what brings a lot of comfort to people so that we can move on to the next. So we can move on to the next thing. What's the next thing on the agenda? Okay, so we had this in front of us. Now we're continuing and we're still going forward. What do I need? And that's a question that I think more of us are asking. We have come through a time of questioning, what do I want? And I think once we have had those moments of really kind of getting your hands on what you want, then you start realizing you actually need something else than what you wanted at times. And then you realize what you want is what you need. So I think that's a discovery that I have come to for myself, just in the first season of this show. And I'm just coming to mind is that scripture again, with all I get understanding. And now it's at a place of consciousness. I want to understand more about the world around me rather than, I went through a phase of, oh, I want to be a rapper, I want to be a filmmaker, I want to be an activist, I want to be a super gay hero, I want to be, rock star, this and that. And a lot of those wants, like I think, all those things. And I just breathe in a breath of gratitude right now, plus I need a breath. But all those things on the list, I got. wanted to be making half of my income, my income based on Function Presents, in my first year of opening business. I got that. These were little goals in my little goals. These were goals inside of my, journals. These were things that I wanted to manifest. And they all do. So as we they all do and they all did. As we consider, also spirituality being kind of trendy now, and more people are engaged in speaking about it, or being more public about it on social media, because there are so many benefits, and because it is a part of us as our human nature. So it's making this quote unquote reemergence, even though it's actually the more traditional facet of this world. You know, it's not about that. It's not about, oh, let me affirm until I can manifest this so I can get this. You still have to go back to, with all thy getting, get understanding. So, you know, I just feel like I'm also have been here to explain that, to kind of be a part of, yes, he is a spiritual person, and knows, I don't know, knows different practices and this and that, and it's ooh and ah, and like some of that stuff can seem like just so ooh and ah, and it's like, it's really not about that. Spirituality ain't no game. It's not a game for you to play. It's not a getting game. It's not a, oh, let me see how I can cut the situation, and shortcut myself in this way in life, or let me try to cut being faithful out of the picture. Let me cut God out of the picture. It's no. It's not that. Don't play around with spirituality if that's what you think it is, because that's not what it is. There's just things to just love about it, into a love, into a respect, and into the respect you have reverence, and in that reverence you have faith. And when you're realizing all those things together, then you see all my needs are met. And no, I'm not perfect. I'm just trying to add to it. I'm just trying to stay in my lane and add to it. And as I add on to it, it adds on to me. It's cyclical, and it's beautiful like that. So I've had a wonderful time even explaining and expressing in that way, about such things, because we are still coming through an age of much desired conflict, where people want to argue rather than figure out the answer. I mean, some people keep up so much arguing, there's guy one and guy two, and they're arguing about the fucking thing. And then you have me here. I've meditated about it, and I've been like, you guys are still talking about that? And you're not even talking about it. You probably have thrown hands 2 or 3 times, while I'm like, well, we could just A, B, C, and then D, or whatever. I type shit. You start figuring out easier ways to do things with that of a conscious mind. So here I am going off and going on a tangent. No script, but I just want to say thank you for being involved in any way that you have been with season 1 of the What I Need podcast by Function Presents. This is your host, King Karlton, and we will see you in season 2.